Coming up on Your Community, keeping you and your family safe this winter season by limiting fire hazards. What each of us can do to reduce hunger in our community, plus hundreds of Winston-Salem students will soon be in the spotlight. Find out why. This and much more in Your Community. Welcome to this edition of Your Community. Nationally, 1/4 of home fire deaths are caused by fires started in the bedroom. Another quarter results from fires in the living room, family room, or den. This is according to the National Fire Protection Association. The group also reports half of all heating fires are reported during December, January, and February. And a popular device is a space heater. Firefighter Jose Rivera is an engineer at Station 14. He explains a number of ways people can reduce the chance of having a fire in their home this winter season. During the holidays, many people love to deep fry their turkey, their pork, their fish for many family gatherings. How can people safely use these deep fryers?
The first thing we want to do, we don't want to cook that inside the house. We want to be sure we are out of the home, away from any grass, trees around on the front of the house, away from the garage, and not even in the porch. We want to be sure that the piece of meat is completely thawed out, is dry. And when we're going to deep fry, we want to turn off the heat. So when we submerge it, if anything come up, it will create a fire hazard. Once you got it back inside, pull the lid and turn it back on.
Now, nationally and here in Winston-Salem, cooking fires are the #1 cause of residential fires and injuries. How can people reduce that risk of having a cooking fire?
The best way is to keep your eyes on what we're cooking. We used to tend to leave the cook unattended, thinking that we have more time to do something else around the house, but we gotta try to maintain visual contact all the time when we are cooking.
Now, people enjoy live pine Christmas tree during the holidays, but according to the American Christmas Tree Association, annually live Christmas trees that catch on fire result in $13 million in property damage. What causes live Christmas trees to catch on fire, and how can people keep their families and homes safe from Christmas tree fires?
Usually those is caused by the overheating of the electrical cords and electrical outlets. You need to try to use a multi-plug every time. When you're going to plug the lights, the multi-plug got a switch, got a fuse that will kick out in case of overheating. We want to try to use a fresh pine tree, so prolong the life, that way you don't start sweating out during the season.
Now, can we plug all the Christmas tree lights together and then plug it into the wall?
No, that is not a safe practice. We always recommend to use a multi-plug with a fuse in it, that it will stop anything from going straight to the outlet.
In many Latin countries, February 2 is celebrated as Dia de la Candelaria, or Day of the Candles. Here in the United States, some Latin-speaking people burn their Christmas trees during the celebration. Within the city limits of Winston-Salem, can we burn these pine trees?
We cannot. It's a city ordinance that we cannot have an open burn on any place on the city limits.
So then how can people get rid of their Christmas trees safely?
Safely, the best way is to try to keep up with the collection time. If you have any question, any doubt when they're going to happen, it's good to call 311, that's City Link. They will be able to answer and provide a date when they will pick it up.
The Winston-Salem Fire Department recommends all citizens to have smoke alarms as well as carbon monoxide alarms. What is a smoke alarm?
A smoke alarm is a device that will alert you when is smoke in the house, and it will let you know that something is smoking in the house. There are two types. One is better react to flames. Another one is react better to the smoke. Sometimes we get discouraged from using it, because it get kind of annoying every time it go off. The proper thing to do is just go back to the manufacturer recommendation, and depending on the use that you're going to give it in the house, act accordingly and install it.
There's also something called a carbon monoxide alarm. Can you explain that to us, please?
Carbon monoxide is a gas, have no color, no smell, but it's lethal. It will make you feel a little sick, and you will get dizzy, maybe sleepy. Carbon monoxide is the result of any fuel burning. That's why we don't want anything that is not supposed to be in the house burning, like grills, anything that use kerosene, gasoline to burn. We try to keep that away from the house, and we always want to have a CO carbon monoxide detector on the lower part of the house, one on every level.
Now, where should the smoke alarms be in a home?
In a home, the recommendation is to have one on every bedroom, and every living space, and every level of the house.
How do we test them, and when do we change the batteries?
We test them, the recommendation is to test them once a month. It got a button on it that you push it, and it will go in a test mode. The battery is best to change it every 6 months.
Now, the city has a program to help people get the smoke alarms and the carbon monoxide alarms. How can Winston-Salem residents learn more about this?
If you want to learn more about that program, you call 336-773-7900. You ask for Sabrina Stove. She's the outreach coordinator, and she will be able to handle any concern and any question.
I also understand that there is a special alarm for people that are hearing impaired. How does this work?
It functions the same way as a regular smoke alarm, or this one, the function, it got a bright light or vibration mode when it's on the bedroom that would alert somebody that's hearing impaired.
Some homes in Winston-Salem do not have central heating, so residents use space heaters. Please describe how to safely use these devices.
The safe way to use a space heater is to have it away from any flammable material, keep it away from pets and little children. You don't want to use anything that is not designed for that purpose. You don't want to use your gas grill or charcoal grill inside the apartment. Nothing that is use kerosene or gasoline. Don't use your oven inside in your kitchen to try to heat up the house. It's always a good practice to follow the manufacturer recommendation.
Is there anything else you would like to let our community know related with fire safety?
At this point, we're trying to let everybody know that we are more than welcome to try to reach out to the Hispanic community. We are trying to reach out to them, letting them know that we're open to any opportunity that they give us to go out and reach out to them and instruct them about fire safety in their language. Also, we want to recommend that be sure you do everything safely, and always follow the manufacturer recommendation on anything.
Fire safety should always be in our minds, especially during the winter season and holidays. Also, during this time of year, our local food bank needs us. Clyde Fitzgerald is the executive director of the Second Harvest Food Bank here in Winston-Salem. It began in 1982, and annually it serves more than 300,000 people, a third of which are children. Since opening its doors, the agency has provided more than 22 million meals.
Our food bank was started because the community decided it needed a centralized way to obtain and distribute food. We had agencies that were distributing the food, but everyone was trying to get it from the same sources. So we said we needed an organization that would be responsible primarily for obtaining the food from grocery stores and food drives and things of that nature, and then distributing it through a partner agency network. So we became, one way of looking at it is to say, like the United Way of food. We got the food, we distribute it to a partner agency network, and they distribute it to the individuals whom they serve.
We're right here at the warehouse, the food bank warehouse, where many people come from different agencies to come and pick up food. Can you give us some statistics about hunger in Forsyth County?
Forsyth County has a very serious and growing problem with hunger. More than 1 in 6 people who live in this county need food assistance every week. Unfortunately, more than 1 in 4 of our children go to bed hungry. In fact, in national studies, the Winston-Salem metropolitan area is unfortunately ranked #1 worst in the percentage of households with children that suffer from hunger. A full 35% of the households with children suffer from hunger. Other statistics that pertain to this county are that many of those that we serve have to make trade-offs in their daily lives between purchasing food and paying a utility bill, or food and taking care of a medical problem, or buying medicine, which in many cases could be life-saving medicine, and between food and keeping a roof over their family's head, and between food and transportation costs to get to work or to find a job. And unbelievably, between 70 and 75% of all that we serve have to make those trade-offs on a very regular basis.
Now, do you think child hunger continues to be a growing problem?
Childhood hunger is a very serious problem in Forsyth County and throughout Northwest North Carolina, and unfortunately it's still growing. We have over 29,000 children in this county in our schools that rely on the free and reduced price meals for their good, nutritious food. Most of those children do not have access to quality food in their homes at night and on the weekends. They get food through our core food distribution program out of this warehouse. We also operate 34 backpack programs in schools in the Forsyth County school system. We have 7 Kids Cafe programs in the city of Winston-Salem, and we have 14 in-school pantries and independent weekend feeding programs that operate just in this county, because a child that's hungry can't possibly take advantage of what they need to in their schools. They can't learn, their demeanor is affected, their entire growth, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. So our #1 priority, beyond having safe food for everybody, is to ensure that every child that needs food assistance receives it.
Let's talk now about the food bank's special initiatives. You have nutritional education services. Can you explain what this program is?
Specifically, we provide recipes of how to make a nutritious meal from food commonly found in an emergency food pantry. We do that in English and in Spanish. We also have Cooking Matters classes, where we put on classes for children, their families, and folks of all ages to show them how they can prepare food. Many people aren't really expert at cooking anymore. They get things out of a can and they heat them up. But we go through those programs and we have lots of them in the community to help people understand how to read a nutrition facts label on products. Most people can read those words and numbers but don't really know what they mean. So we try to help people understand that in plain language so they can understand what that is for their own family's benefit. We try to empower people to make better decisions about the food that they and their families consume. And so the Cooking Matters class is just one of the ways that we do that. We also work through our agencies and we take people into a grocery store or their corner grocery store, which could be generally a convenience store, if that's their world, and show them of the products there, the ones they should focus on, how to shop on a limited budget and still have a good nutritious meal for themselves and their families.
Now I want to know about another program that you all have that is called Mobile Pantry Distribution. What is that?
Our mobile pantry program operates across our entire service area, where we will get a truckload of food, special types of food, especially fresh fruits and produce, that are sponsored by other companies and other individuals, perhaps in the faith community as well. And we take that to various locations and we distribute the food right off of our truck with the help of some partner agencies to people across all of our 18 counties that need it.
Now, how can our community help reduce the problem of food insecurity in Winston-Salem?
Tell somebody else that hunger exists right here in this community and there's something that can be done about it. And then donate food, donate money so that we can acquire and distribute food, and donate their volunteer time. We couldn't do all that we do without the great volunteers that our food bank has, and so those are some of the ways that people can help us. And right now we have great food drives going on in this community at Lowe's Foods, Food Lion, and Harris Teeter, and people can go in, buy prepackaged bags of food to donate to Second Harvest Food Bank, put them right there in our collection box in any of those stores, and if they choose, they can make a donation at the checkout counter and that funds will come through those chains to support the work of Second Harvest Food Bank.
As Clyde said, there are a number of food drives that will happen throughout the winter months. Buy an extra can of food and drop it into a collection box. Now, did you know the Community and Business Development Department wants to give you $5,000? Ken Millett is the Business Development Project Supervisor of the Community and Business Development Department of the City of Winston-Salem. He explains how you can win this cash prize.
Hello, I'm Ken Millett, Senior Project Supervisor with the Community and Business Development Department for the City of Winston-Salem. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for all of our residents by promoting business growth. One of our initiatives is the Small Business Plan Contest, which spotlights entrepreneurs. The winner gets seed money to help them launch their business. You can learn more at the city's website, www.cityofws.org. Eligibility for the contest is pretty simple. Your business must 1. be a micro-business, meaning 5 or fewer employees, 2. located within designated areas, and 3. provide low to moderate income jobs. In our previous contest, we've had 1 winner, but this year we're broadening the program to recognize 2 winners. Here's what you get if you're one of them: a $5,000 grant for startup costs. You'll also be eligible for matching loan funds up to an additional $5,000. If your business requires more funding, you can apply for the Small Business Loan Program. The process begins with you submitting a 2-page proposal highlighting your business concept. Don't worry, we'll help you map this out. City of Winston-Salem staff is available to give technical assistance and feedback throughout the process. Key employees in the city's Business Development Division will review and evaluate all submitted proposals based on their overall impression, feasibility, and potential to become a reality. The most viable plans will move to the final round. These entrepreneurs will put together a complete business plan that will ultimately be reviewed by the city's Small Business Loan Committee. This group will select the 2016 winners. Come to the city's first informational meeting in mid-January where you'll learn more details on how to enter the Small Business Plan Contest. Keep an eye on the city's website, www.cityofws.org, for the day and time of this meeting. If you have questions about this contest or about other services provided by the Community and Business Development Department, call me at 336-747-7472 or email me at kenm@cityofws.org. You can also speak with our Economic Development Specialist, Stephen Harrison, at 336-747-7474 or send him an email at stephench@cityofws.org. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Ken. This contest is a great opportunity for entrepreneurs in our community. Now, so many times our young people are celebrated for athletic or academic achievements, but the City of Winston-Salem partners with the Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Schools to honor students for how they treat each other, their teachers, and give of themselves. The Human Relations Student Awards Banquet began in 1979 and annually recognizes students from each school. One of the 2015 awardees is Joseph Harrison. He was honored for befriending a new student. The city's Human Relations Department organizes this event. Human Relations Specialist Adolfo Briceño sat down with 11-year-old Joseph at Jefferson Middle School, where he now attends. Human Relations Commissioner Chairperson Nora Baker also joined them. She says this banquet promotes citizenship among our youth.
Thank you, Miriam. Now, Nora, what is the purpose of the Human Relations Student Awards Banquet?
The purpose of the Student Human Relations Banquet is to pay honor to those students who've done great things in their schools, such as their caring, their compassion, their philanthropy in their schools.
Now, how does a student get nominated?
A student is nominated. First, we send a nomination form to all of the guidance counselors in the schools, elementary, middle, high schools, and also our private schools here in Forsyth County. Then they ask their teachers to nominate a student or several students, and then they have a process by which they choose one student per school, and that is the awardee for that school.
Now, what kind of non-academic activities catch the eye of the principal or someone who nominates the students?
Well, there are a lot of things that teachers look at. For example, how a student behaves in the cafeteria, how they behave on the playground, in extracurricular activities, do they show good sportsmanship, and also just in the classroom, around the hallways, everywhere in the school where there's any kind of contact between students and the teachers. That's where they look to see how students behave, because we all know they may behave one way when they're in the presence of the teacher, but they may behave a different way when they're out with their peers. So they look at all those different areas.
Joseph, why do you think your teacher selected you for the banquet?
I think they selected me because they liked how I was showing good sportsmanship on the basketball court and on the football field, and they liked how I welcomed people who were coming to our new school and how I sat with them at lunch.
Give me an example.
Well, in 4th grade 2 years ago, one of my friends now, Jonathan, came to this school from China, and I saw he was a new person coming to the school, and so I sat with him and ate lunch with him, and now we're friends for 2 years now.
Now, what are your role models that taught you how to give you back to others?
My role models are my dad, his dad, and my mom's dad. They're good role models for me because they help me put on a tie, and they just teach me how to look when I'm going out in public and how to act when I'm going out in public, even when I'm out with my friends and when I'm just alone and my parents aren't watching.
How have you helped others or encouraged others to do these same things that you received the award for?
Well, for people who are trying to do the same thing as me, I just kind of show them how to act and how to keep doing that from when you're getting older, because it's going to stick with you and it's going to be a great trait when you grow older.
Why do you believe, Nora, this banquet is important for the families here at Winston-Salem?
I think that by recognizing those students who are at the banquet, we plant seeds. We plant seeds of caring, of compassion, of philanthropy, of volunteerism with those students. And we hope those seeds will flourish, because what we're trying to say to the community at large is that these are students who we hope will grow into those who in society will give back to the community. So we always want to celebrate those students and celebrate what they do. That's why we make this such a huge celebration. We have over 600 people there every year, and you should see the pride that the parents have in their students. I mean, they're taking pictures and they're congratulating them. It's just a great way for us to help those students understand that what they're doing now is going to help them going forward.
Please explain us, Nora, what other things you see besides academics that will lend this type of recognitions to students?
Well, again, the philanthropy, giving back to others. We've seen things such as students raising funds to help people who are less fortunate. We've seen where students have actually gone out and tried to help others, like at soup kitchens and going to volunteer in places like that, or raising funds for children who don't have books, or having a book drive in their school. So a lot of different activities go on that are not just caring for each other, but also really actively doing some things in the community and in their school community.
How do you think these type of awards impact the students' life, the ones that receive the awards?
Well, it's always good to have an award for a student who is in a situation where, I mean, a lot of these children may not be the most athletic, so they won't get the awards for being athletic. They may not be the most academically gifted. However, they are going to be awarded and actually recognized for some of the more aesthetic things that they do, things such as being caring to someone and also giving back to their community. And I think it has a great impact on them because, hey, they say, I'm recognized for something that I do. It's just me being me. It's just me being good and being nice to other people. So that's something that will help them and helps their self-esteem in a lot of ways.
Thank you, Nora, Joseph, and Adolfo. Let's do a quick recap. The next Human Relations Student Awards Banquet will be held on February 18, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. at the Twin City Quarter Embassy Suites Hotel. To participate in the Small Business Plan Contest, go to the city website or contact Ken Millett at 336-747-7472. Also remember, safety tips given by firefighter Jose Rivera. And in this season of giving, please don't forget our Second Harvest Food Bank. You can donate food, money, and always your time. Have a wonderful holiday season, and may the new year bring us many other opportunities to give, participate, and help organizations in our community. Share this program. We're on YouTube. Type in City of Winston-Salem and search your community. I'm your host, Miriam Hernandez for WSTV Digital Media.